Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next up is approval of the October 24th meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. 4-0. Next up, Mrs. Morris.
Yes, policies for second review. We have one policy for second review today. It's the policy 5-02 copyright policy. This one was reviewed in October with the committee and by the board in November. There's been no stakeholder input since that time, and we would ask that this go for approval at the December meeting.
Move for approval at the December meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, 4-0. Thank you. Next up is policies for first review.
Okay, and I apologize, there's a lot on this list, so I'll try and go through quickly. The first one is policy 1-12, public participation at board meetings. And the revisions in this policy are to address conduct during public comments. And so staff would recommend that this go for first review at the December meeting. And I can answer any questions anybody has.
I have a question. So it says, however, speakers are encouraged to must refrain.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. I got it now.
What's
We
in red is
changed it to
approved and
must.
what's
Yeah.
green is new. Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Should we do it all together?
Mhm.
So with this policy, we are not banning anyone from future meetings. They just may be removed from this particular meeting if they cause a disruption.
That's consistent with the current practice. Now, if we had a situation that was, significant enough, we do have another policy that just coincidentally we're looking at today, the administrative guidelines regarding removing people from or restricting people from school property. So you could use it under that policy if it was appropriate.
So we go one, or should we do it all together?
Let's do it all together.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in there that would prevent us from just doing them all together.
Yes. Okay. Next is policy 2-5.
Gifts and bequests. The revision in this policy is to ensure that when a large scale project is being considered by a school and it's a donatable type project where they're fundraising, the PTO or boosters or some other group is fundraising and planning for a major gift, that's going to become kind of a permanent part of the building or the facility, that it should come to the board. You all should be involved from the very beginning so that we're not finding out later that somebody is, fundraising to add a greenhouse or something like that.
We saw some stuff on social media where they're doing a booster-thon or something, and they're going to do something on the campus, and we don't know anything about it. So I thought we should make a change to it so that they have to come to us first, not later.
You shall be proving the concept to even move forward with it.
Right.
So this could include something like if they wanted to sell naming rights to the football field or something like that.
Any change in the names that is under our naming policy, and that has to be approved by the board as well.
Any other? Okay,
yeah. Last question. I'm sorry. So talk about the gifts. So if a group of people want to provide some type of, let's say a school is needing something, maybe a refrigerator. We have to go through that process? It has to be approved by us.
I don't know that something like a refrigerator. This is more major permanent fixtures, a building, a playground, bleachers, scoreboards, lights, kind of those things.
Not a refrigerator.
No.
Do you think, Michelle, in addition to the description we give, should we put maybe some kind of dollar amount if a gift's over a certain dollar amount?
I had the same question, and Michelle, if you look at 10, when you start to, it says that will become a permanent part of the school facility or grounds, such as buildings, playground,
Right.
equipment, bleachers. Yeah, I don't want to put a number on it.
You think this list is pretty
Me
much
neither,
all
me neither.
encompassing?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
no
concerned
dollar
that,
amount.
that if you have a dollar amount, then you might,
No,
yeah,
no
you might
dollar
not see
amount.
things you should.
Okay. So you feel like this list of these potential additions that can become a permanent part is pretty much all encompassing anything that we've come across?
You know, we put the permanent part of the facility as the overall, and these are just examples of that.
Yeah.
And we'll have to work with principals to make sure they understand if it's going to change your facility, then you need to make sure it's happening
Right.
this way.
Everybody be on the same page with what
Right.
we consider major.
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
Fine with it.
Next. Okay, next one is policy 3-2, licensure.
Yeah, I copied that one twice, sorry. 3-02 licensure. These are for, this policy revision is for legal changes that allow people who are in the military and their spouses who are being stationed in North Carolina who have licenses in other jurisdictions to hold a temporary license during their deployment or their placement in North Carolina. And that's a statutory change, so that we're just making the change to the policy to reflect that.
I don't imagine we run across this a whole lot.
Nope.
Not in our location, but we felt it was important to have, because you might have spouses, if their husbands are someplace else and the spouse is
Right.
here, or the husband is here and the wife is deployed.
Okay.
Okay, so next is policy 3-3.
Yep, recruitment and selection of personnel. This one is only to make some clarifications. The Age Discrimination Employment Act is 40 years of age or older. So we added that to the policy. And then we struck some language that said after September 30th of 2019, because we figured we were far enough after that time not to need that language anymore.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Next is, what's next? Policy 3-3, administrative guidelines.
Yes, these are the administrative guidelines that we use with the criminal background checks is what this is relating to. And there's been some significant changes based on case law and administrative agency decisions such as the EEOC, that we are proposing striking the current administrative guidelines and developing the others that were attached that are more consistent with that case law and EEOC guidance. And basically what the change is that instead of having a specific number of, if you have a charge, one charge, you're automatically not eligible kind of thing. This is does it relate to your job? Is it impacting the type of, job that you're being hired for? Because someone who had, a shoplifting charge, 10 years ago, we may not want for a bookkeeper or somebody dealing with finances, but we might be okay with them being a teacher assistant or something like that. So it asks for more relatability to the job description and the type of work the person will be doing.
Gotcha.
I liked it that. I really liked it that because I know what it's like personally to have gone through something and you get tagged. And so this is saying that Union County Public Schools will really look at a person, their whole person, and if there's compatibility somewhere, we won't, we'll consider it. So I really like that. It gives people a chance to not have to live like the scarlet letter.
Okay. Any other questions?
Now, Michelle, this does not apply. This is only for potential employees. This does not apply to volunteers.
And that may be something that we need to look at. Do we have this for employees and volunteers? That way, it does say in the second sentence, this same process is followed for all volunteers. So that way it does cover both.
Yeah, that's good.
Is there let's see, is there an appeal process for someone?
Yes, there
Yes,
is an appeal process, and it goes back to your policy 1-18, and it goes up through HR and to the superintendent.
Yep.
Okay. So that would not be an appeal, a final appeal to the board. It stops at the superintendent.
There's not an appeal of right in state law to the board. It does allow, though, if someone were to allege a violation of board policy or state law
I see.
or federal law, that does give you the right to appeal to the board.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, moving on. Policy 3-6, staff student relations.
Yes, the revisions to this policy are based on statutory changes that have changed the criminal consequences and the criminal definition when there is someone who is engaged in an inappropriate relationship with a student. And so that language is to clarify that change.
Okay.
Well, let's hope we don't have to use this.
We always
Mhm.
do. We
Yep.
always hope, I mean, not we
Yes.
always have to use it. We always hope we don't have to use it.
Any other questions? No.
No.
Okay, policy 6-3.
The last this is the administrative guidelines that attach to the policy dealing with restricting individuals from property. The policy and the administrative guidelines were a little bit in conflict. So this is to make sure that the administrative guidelines align better with the board policy. A lot of the situations lately have happened where we've had to remove people from property have happened at football games, etc. And the policy allows for removing people and restricting people from those events. The administrative guidelines were less clear, so this is to align all the procedures together. Hey, didn't realize anybody was in here. Sorry.
Okay, I'm fine with it.
Okay, we're good. So I
Good.
need
Yeah,
a
we're good.
motion. I need a motion to send policies for first review.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next up is school choice.
Yes, as you know, we held school choice, assigning schools last year, awaiting McKibben's data. So based on all the data that we have received and the 20 and 40th day numbers, the administration is recommending to the board the schools that are highlighted to be identified as schools of choice. For the elementary schools, that would be Rayview, Rocky River, Fairview, Rock Rest, Prospect, Sandy Ridge, Union, Walter Bickett, and Wingate. For middle schools, that would be East Union, Monroe, Parkwood, and Sun Valley. And for high schools, that would be Forest Hills, Monroe, Parkwood, and Piedmont. And so staff would recommend that this go to the board for approval at the December meeting so that we can start the application process almost immediately thereafter.
So one of the things, East Elementary, it's not on there because of the construction, and we didn't want to put more kids in the school at that point.
Yeah. East and Shiloh Valley Elementary are below the threshold numbers, but Shiloh Valley Primary is far above the threshold numbers. So we felt, since they are considered basically one unit, not to put that one. And then East did not make sense, as Ms. Heindel said, to add more people to that property when we're in the middle of construction.
Right. Agreed. Make a
Yep.
motion to recommend to the full board.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, 4-0. Our next meeting is January 16th, a.m. at Zoom. Have a good happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I need a
The
motion
same,
to,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you.
second,
All in
so
favor?
moved.
Yep,
Aye.
thank you.
Aye.
You too, Madam Chair. And,
Yep.
uh,